Hi, I am Jacqueline Steele, and welcome to Self-Discovery. Howard Thurman so beautifully wrote, "Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive." Coming alive. That, my friends, is what self-discovery is all about.
Wear that mask for.
Beautiful listeners, welcome to season 3 of this podcast. I hope your holiday season was filled with joy and that wherever you are right now, that you are refreshed and excited to open a new chapter in your life. It's 2022. Can you believe it? Oh my gosh. I'm about to have a baby in a month, so this is a big year. I am absolutely delighted that you are here listening, and I am delighted to share what I want season 3 of this podcast to encompass. First, we're undergoing a name change. I hinted at this at the end of season 2, but Self-Discovery with Jacqueline Steele has served us well. So grateful for it. When I first started this podcast at the beginning of 2020, right before the pandemic, I wanted it to encompass a safe place for personal development with raw honesty and authenticity, a space in which we could safely come alive and go out into the world as our highest vibrational selves. And at the time, the name Self-Discovery seemed like the perfect name for that. As time has gone on, however, what I've come to realize is that self-worth is the greatest catalyst for life-changing work that I have ever come across. High self-worth changes how we operate individually in the world. It changes the way we make decisions. It changes how we carry ourselves in relationships. It changes the way we approach problems. It changes the way we see ourselves, the way we dress, the way we create spaces and live in our homes. Self-worth is the foundation for the kind of woman I am becoming. And because I know we are all so connected energetically and spiritually, I feel that self-worth would be a game-changing topic for you too. So, and I'm getting some butterflies as I say this, I've decided to change the name of this podcast to Self-Worth with Jacqueline Steele. Instead of casting a wide net like I did with Self-Discovery, and again, so grateful for that name and how it served us. But my goal now, here, at this time, is to go deep. Because I truly believe that if we can master and elevate our individual self-worth, not only will it change our lives dramatically for the better, it will also change the lives of those around us for the better. So, as of February 16th, 2022, this podcast will be called Self-Worth with Jacqueline Steele. It will be streaming everywhere as it has been, but the cover art will be different and the name will be different. I'm still going to tag it as Self-Discovery for a while, so as we're doing this transition, you guys will be able to find it easily. Again, it's on all of the same platforms that it has been, and it should be a pretty seamless transition. But just in case it's not, if you just search Jacqueline Steele, the podcast should always come up. So, now, when I say that I want to go deep with this version of the podcast, this self-worth infused version of the podcast, oh my gosh, you guys, even as I'm saying that, I'm feeling like this is such a confirmation of the direction that I'm moving in. Here is what I mean by going deep. Every month this year, we will have a theme. So if you listen to the last few episodes of season 2, you will recall that owning my worth is my personal theme in 2022. And piggybacking off of that, I thought it would be really cool to see if having a theme of the month that supported the growth of the theme of the year, which is owning our worth, I wanted to see if that would be beneficial. And I have an inkling that it is going to be a game changer. So for January, and I'm including February since there are only 2 episodes airing in January, I'm dubbing the next 6 weeks with the theme of, you guessed it, self-worth. With capital letters, my friends. Self-worth with capital letters. And in my prep work for season 3 of this podcast, I asked myself, what does self-worth look like in action? Because we can talk about self-worth all day long, but if we don't know what it looks like and feels like, then it's a moot point. And what came to me is that self-worth manifests itself in several areas. And by no means is this an exhaustive list, but these are the topics that I really want to focus on in the coming year. And these are the topics that the theme of the month will be based around. So number 1 is style. Number 2 is surroundings. Number 3 is self-image. And number 4 is spirituality. And in each of these areas, I did a word association list. So when I say style, what I mean is clean beauty, sustainable fashion, looking good so that we can feel good, self-expression, increasing our vibe, fun, spicing up our lives, and the list goes on. For surroundings, I wrote interior design, office space, setting the vibe, all 5 senses, reflection of self-worth, opportunity for creativity, inspiration, surroundings change, your headspace, and the list goes on. For self-image, I wrote wellness, movement, yoga, Pilates, rewriting limiting beliefs, mindset, self-talk, letting go of comparison and judgment, asking tough questions of ourselves and others, boundaries, self-care, and the list goes on. And for spirituality, let's just take a breath for spirituality. I wrote grounded, co-creation, expansion, alignment, soul purpose, abundance, Akashic records, joy, freedom, discovery, meditation, mindfulness, and the list goes on. You guys get the idea, but this podcast, self-worth, is going to be based on this foundation of style, surroundings, self-image, and spirituality, or at least it will be for the next year. And that also includes my social media. So over the last few years, and this is just a side note, I have been a little all over the place, if I'm honest, on social media, just sharing snippets of my life. But my goal now is to really, really focus on self-worth. I've been thinking about legacy. I'm about to become a mom. And if I hang my hat on anything in this world, I want it to be self-worth. I want to leave this world knowing that I elevated others. And so I'm going all in this year. What I'm doing in season 3, or what my intention to do is to weave how high self-worth presents itself in real life, like I mentioned, in the areas of style, surroundings, self-image, and spirituality. Because again, we can talk about self-worth and what it means all day, but if we don't see it in action and feel it in action, then what's the point? What's the use? So in addition to this new name of self-worth with Jaclyn Steele and the theme of the month, which will dictate the topics that are spoken about in each episode, I'm also releasing a theme of the month graphic. This beautiful graphic is meant to be printed off and posted somewhere you can see it on the daily. Why? Because we are calling in the women and men we want to become. And I believe this sacred process, it is a sacred process, my friends. It requires daily intention. So this graphic that will be sent out at the beginning of each month in my newsletter starting in February, it's a very simple form that you can fill out, and in 3 minutes will aid you in setting the tone for your month when it comes to self-worth and infusing self-worth into every area of your life. In order to get this graphic, it's totally free. You can sign up for my newsletter, The Scoop, in the show notes, or at JacquelineSteele.com. There are plenty of little entry forms. My goal, my friends and my listeners, my beautiful listeners, is to make this podcast information not just something you listen to, but something that permeates your life in a way that elevates and uplifts your every cell. So with that in mind, I'm also going to try something in the first few months of this year, and that is doing a course of the month. This is, and we did a test run of this at the end of 2021. It was Align and Own 2022, and it was so much fun to get together with several women and share information. But this monthly course will be a Zoom course that you can sign up for, also in the show notes, that will be about an hour long, once a month, and focused on the theme of the month. So if you are feeling like you want to elevate your self-worth to the next level, if you are interested in styles surrounding self-image, spirituality, going deep, deep, deep into who we are and why we're here and how we can become the best version of ourselves, then this class will be for you. I'm so excited also in regard to the class to be able to have this small group time with you guys and to take questions and to have a dialogue in real time. I think it's going to be very powerful. And so we are going to start that as well. I am going to shoot for February. However, I'm also giving birth to a child in February. And so I don't know exactly how all of this is going to roll out. However, I will keep you posted in my newsletter and on social media and in this podcast. So if you're interested in that class, just keep listening, sign up for my newsletter, follow me on social media at Jacqueline Steele. If you are still here at the end of this episode, there is a reason for that. You are calling in a higher frequency to operate on. And I know that because I am doing the same. And I am so incredibly honored to be walking this path alongside you. Cheers to the year ahead, my friends.